Hey, good morning. It's October 19th, 2019, and we got another beautiful opportunity to gain some wisdom. Proverbs 19 goes, "Better to be poor and honest than to be dishonest and a fool. Enthusiasm without knowledge is no good. Haste makes mistakes. People ruin their lives by their own foolishness and then are angry at the Lord. Wealth makes many friends, and then poverty drives them away. A false witness will not go unpunished, nor will a liar escape. Many seek favors from a ruler. Everyone is a friend of a person who gives gifts. The relatives of the poor despise them. How much more will their friends avoid them? Though the poor plead with them, their friends are gone. To acquire wisdom is to love yourself. People who cherish understanding will prosper. A false witness will not go unpunished, and a liar will be destroyed. It isn't right for a fool to live in luxury, or for a slave to rule over princes. Sensible people control their temper. They earn respect by overlooking wrongs. The king's anger is like a lion's roar, but his favor is like dew on the grass. A foolish child is a calamity to a father. A quarrelsome wife is as annoying as a constant dripping. Fathers can give their sons an inheritance of houses and wealth, but only the Lord can give an understanding wife. Dang. Lazy people sleep soundly, but idleness leaves them hungry. Keep the commandments and keep your life. Despise them, and despising them leads to death. If you help the poor, you are lending to the Lord, and He will repay you. Discipline your children while there's hope. Otherwise, you will ruin their lives. Hot-tempered people must pay the penalty. If you rescue them once, you will have to do it again. Get all the advice and instruction you can, so you will be wise the rest of your life. You can make many plans, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. Loyalty makes a person attractive. It is better to be poor than dishonest. Fear the Lord leads to life, bringing security and protection from harm. Lazy people take food in their hands, but don't even lift it to their mouth. If you punish a mocker, the simple-minded will learn a lesson. If you correct the wise, they will be all the wiser. Children who mistreat their father or chase away their mother are an embarrassment and a public disgrace. If you stop listening to instruction, my child, you will turn your back on knowledge. A corrupt witness makes a mockery of justice. The mouth of the wicked gulps down evil. Punishment is made for mockers, and the backs of the fools are made to be beaten. Okay, verse 2 says, "Enthusiasm without knowledge is no good. Haste makes mistakes." Proverbs, man, it's about wisdom, and it's wise to plan. It's wise to look ahead to the future for the possible outcomes, the consequences you might be facing. That'll help you prepare. Definitely a tone of sarcasm in verse 4. Wealth makes many friends. It's under quotation marks and everything. Poverty drives them away. Of course you're going to be surrounded by vultures, I would call them, if you have wealth and you're just, paying for all their meals, taking them here and there. And then once you've used up all your money on them, they'll go to the next person, right? Oh, Proverbs, you're so wise. Awesome, exactly. Verse 6 just reinforced that. Many seek favors from a ruler. Everyone is the friend of a person who gives gifts. Exactly. Now, verse 7 just tells you exactly what the consequences could be if you're not prudent with your money. Because it's not about not letting it go and being stingy, but if you're not prudent with it. The relatives of the poor despise them. How much more will their friends avoid them? Though the poor plead with them, their friends are gone. Now, 14 kind of transitions into an interesting aspect of about the same thought about being prudent, looking for those future consequences, especially being prudent with your money. Because it says in 14, fathers can give their sons an inheritance of houses and wealth, but only the Lord can give an understanding wife. You can gain a wife easily if you have an inheritance, but an understanding one that really gets you, that will want to help you grow instead of tear down that house. Only by following Jesus, only by following the Lord can you achieve that. Come on now. I know I just read these, but I couldn't memorize them if I wanted to. And I like that because 16 kind of reinforces that train of thought that I've been having so far. And it says, keep the commandments and keep your life. Despising them leads to death. And of course, if you listen to advice, you're definitely going to get ahead. You're definitely going to be able to start seeing those future consequences and keep your life. Because if you just disregard all those life lessons that have come before your even existence, you're gonna learn by falling down instead. So verse 17 comes up with a nice little recommendation for you, a nice little piece of advice. If you help the poor, you are lending to the Lord, and He will repay you. Yes, He does. I can tell you by experience that He does. You're good to the poor, and it just comes right back around to you. Be it the Lord, call it karma, call it the power of attraction. What the universe you put out to the universe is what you receive. Definitely so many different perspectives to this same thought. You lend to the Lord, and He will repay you. He's got your back always. This is so complete because I'm sure that many people would say, oh, well, you're just going to give your money away to all the poor people? There are so many poor people out there, you might as well just give your whole paycheck away. Oh, yeah, I understand that perspective, but this is so complete because it also tells you, like, to what people you can really help out. At least verse 19 touches on the people that you shouldn't help out. 19 says, hot-tempered people must pay the penalty. If you rescue them once, you will have to do it again. So it's definitely doing all of this with discernment. How do you get discernment, you may ask? Well, verse 20 has good advice on that. Get all the advice and instruction you can, so you will be wise the rest of your life. Now, all of this encompasses trusting in the Lord. You have to try and establish that relationship with Him so that you can start having that discernment, and He can start speaking to you through the little whispers, through your conscience, through the teachings. And once you start communicating, trying to pray all day, every day, meditating in His Word, meditating in your relationship with Him, you will start to see the path a lot clearer every time. And verse 21 states that you can make plans, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. Because as you're going along making your plans, He will also step in and guide you. Miracles, signs, and wonders is how. That's what in the Bible it says that He speaks to us by miracles, signs, and wonders. There are moments in our lives that just like pop out to us, are kind of random, and yet hold significant value in our memory. And I want to say that is something to pay attention to. That is how the Lord's purpose is presented. Build that relationship, because 23 says, fear of the Lord leads to life, bringing security and protection from harm. Enough said. Thank you, Jesus. And now 24 adds to that, because it's not just about fear, it's about being valiant and diligent. It's look up Joshua 1:9. It has a beautiful passage on being brave and valiant and diligent, but that's for another occasion. 24 says, lazy people take food in their hand but don't even lift it to their mouth. So we have to be diligent. We have to put our one foot in front of the other. Get out there, be brave, and provoke stuff to happen, and let the Lord tell us whether we're right or we're wrong. Now I'm going to finish off by reading 27 and 29. But this is the point where I'm going to have to implore you, please search for yourself. Build a relationship with God. Let Jesus be your guide. And it's a wonderful adventure. Definitely, I invite you. So 27 and 29. If you stop listening to instruction, my child, you will turn your back on knowledge. Punishment is made for mockers, and the backs of fools are made to be beaten. Food for thought. God bless you guys. Be safe.